Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to do something pretty cool. We are going to take one single verse from an ancient text, one that looks, really complex, and we're going to crack its code together. So let's just dive right in.
And here it is. This is our puzzle, written in its original Sanskrit. Now, looking at that, you might be thinking, whoa, that looks a little intimidating. But trust me, by the end of this explainer, you'll know exactly what this says and, more importantly, why it really matters. So, to give you some context, this verse comes from the very first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Our goal here is pretty simple. We're going to deconstruct it piece by piece and reveal the full picture that's hidden inside. So, what's the first step in peeling back the layers? Well, we have to make it a little more familiar. Before we can even begin to understand the words, it helps if we can say the words. So let's turn this ancient script into sound. And this is how we do that. This is what's called a transliteration. It's the exact same verse, just written using the Roman alphabet that we're all familiar with. Now it's something we can actually sound out. All of a sudden, it's not so scary, right? It's starting to look less like a mystery and more like an actual sentence.
All right, now for the really fun part. We're going to go from just the sound of the verse to its actual meaning. And we do that by breaking it down into its core building blocks, the individual words themselves. This is where the magic really happens.
Let's start with the very first word, bhavan. Simple enough. It means yourself. Now, this is a huge first clue because it tells us this isn't just some random statement. It's a direct address. The speaker is talking to somebody specific. Keep that in mind.
Okay, now let's jump to a really key phrase that actually describes everyone mentioned here, Samitim Jaya. This translates to victorious in battle. What a description, right? This isn't just a casual compliment, it's a title. It means these guys are always winning. This phrase is basically the glue that holds the whole meaning of the verse together.
And here's the who. The verse lists 6 specific warriors. And believe me, these aren't just any soldiers. In the world of the Mahabharata, this is basically the all-star team. You've got Bhishma, the legendary granduncle, Karna, the incredible archer, Kripa, the revered teacher. Every single name here carries a ton of weight and a massive reputation. Okay, so we've got all our pieces laid out on the table. We have a direct address, we have a list of absolute legends, and we have the ultimate description, victorious in battle. Now it's time for the exciting part. Let's put this puzzle together and see the complete picture. And you can see just how cleanly it all snaps together. We can literally build the sentence step by step. We start with that address. There are personalities like yourself. Then we just plug in that all-star lineup of warriors. And finally, we attach our key description at the end, who are ever victorious in battle. And there it is. The puzzle is solved. There are personalities like yourself, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwathama, Vikarn, and Bodhisattva, who are ever victorious in battle. How cool is that? We've gone from what looked like an intimidating script to a clear, really powerful statement. The mystery is now a message.
But hold on, we're not quite done yet because, cracking the code is one thing, but understanding its impact is something else entirely. Now that we know what it says, we have to ask why it's being said. What's the power behind these specific words, especially right at the beginning of a huge war?
So why does this all matter so much? Well, it kind of comes down to simple math. The verse lists 6 legendary warriors, right? But remember that very first word, yourself? That brings the grand total to 7. The speaker is basically saying, hey, on my side, I've got you, my teacher, plus these 6 other unbeatable heroes. So this isn't just a list, it's a declaration of absolutely overwhelming power. And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. When a massive conflict kicks off with one side just casually listing its roster of living legends, what kind of tone does that set? Is it a boast to build confidence? Is it a threat to psych out the enemy? Or is it maybe just a cold, hard statement of fact? It's a seriously powerful opening move, and it really sets the stage for everything that's about to happen.